everybody. Today is Thursday, March 3rd, and I'm recording this for yesterday, March 2nd, which was the end of week 13 post-op gastric bypass RNY. Yesterday when I weighed in at 182.3, which gives me a total of 56 pounds lost, which is not too shabby. I do have to note that there has been an NSUV, a non-scale unvictory. And I don't know if that's an official term anywhere. I just kind of thought of it. I'm sure maybe other people have thought of it before, but this is the first time you might be seeing this on YouTube. An NSUV. Baby, your boobs are getting smaller. They're too small. Too small. Almost too small. That's not exactly what my hubby said. He meant well. I know it. And I agree with him. They're getting a little bit small for my clothes. And actually, I'm getting a little bit small for some of my clothes. So what are you gonna do? You're just gonna take the good with the bad, right? At least I can fit into a lot of stuff that I haven't been able to wear in like 7 years. So I'm okay with that. And thankfully, my hubby's okay with that too. My hair is definitely thinning a little bit more. I don't think the impact is really large yet. And you're gonna think I'm weird if you don't already think that I'm weird. I don't even know if I want to admit this, and I feel like I'm turning red. But just for medically scientific purposes, I have been every Wednesday after I weigh myself and I brush my hair and everything, I've been taking the hair out of my hairbrush and just kind of saving it just to compare each week to see if I'm getting any worse or whatnot. I really don't know if I want to do this. So here's what I have. Basically, it doesn't look like there's a lot of change between the weeks. I just feel like these last 2 weeks have been a little bit more, but now that I'm looking at the other samples, it doesn't seem to be much more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here are, I don't know if I can do this. Here are 5 samples that I just kind of took out and balled up. This is kind of gross, isn't it? This isn't really balled up real tight, so it looks like a lot. Closer to the beginning of post-op. Not too bad. This, I think, is last week. It really doesn't look any different. It just looks like I wound it up tighter. And then this one over here is, I think, this week's. One of these is last week's, and one is this week. See, the problem is I didn't keep them in little separate bags or anything, so I don't have really a whole lot of scientific data to go with it, but at least I can get a general idea that they're all kind of the same and that I probably shouldn't worry about it. Maybe I'll keep one of those and then base my future samples on just that one instead of keeping them all the time. When do they say that you're supposed to stop losing your hair if you lose it? I don't even know when it's supposed to happen, actually. Maybe 4 or 6 months, so I'm not even sure when I'd stop doing this, or maybe I should just stop doing it. Is it too weird? I think it might be. But anyhow, this last week, food's been pretty good, of course. I haven't really fallen off that track heavily. Water, of course, there could be improvement, but I'm still getting in quite a bit. I ordered some new multivitamins from a place in Brussels, which is the place that my surgeon recommended, so I'm anxiously waiting on those to come in. I can't wait to try those out. They're supposed to be pretty strong. I'm still not working out like I should be. That's shame on me. I do notice that my stomach gets those little gurgles. Well, it's not my stomach, just my intestines. I think my small intestines and my large intestines both have these just little processing noises that just happen sporadically throughout the day. It's really kind of annoying, and sometimes it's really loud, but I don't know if that'll ever change. I think I'm just gonna have to deal with it. My scars are starting to slightly discolor. I don't know if it's because of the gel I've been putting on or if it's just time fading them, but I'll show you. Still see where that adhesive bandage was around the big scar on my left. Wonder how long that'll take to really fade. Must have really damaged my skin. Clothing, size 18 is definitely too big. My khakis, I can pull them off without unbuttoning them. I can pull them off without unzipping them. With my belt still on, my belt doesn't work anymore. I've surpassed the smallest size of the belt. I have to add 2 or 3 more holes. That's kind of nice. My pants are starting to drag behind me when I walk because I don't have all that butt fat and belly fat holding my pants up all the time. So I have to constantly be pulling my pants up and checking it, pulling them up on my calves too, just to get them off the ground. It's getting kind of annoying, so I wonder if maybe I should go shopping soon for at least a couple more pairs of pants that are closer to my size. I have noticed that it's been a lot harder to push myself back up if I'm squatting down closer to the floor. It's taking a lot more effort for my knees to kind of push me up. I don't know why my knee joints seem to be weaker than they used to be. I wonder if maybe it's because I've been probably losing muscle mass. I think that might be part of the issue. My relationship with my husband is really not any different than it was before surgery. We still have our ups and downs. It's still pretty much the same arguments that we're working on, and the same good things, same bad things. We are trying to make improvements to the bad things, of course, like in any relationship, but he's taken the surgery really, really well. I'm really happy with his support. I'm really happy at how he's reacting, and I really like his feedback. I enjoy the compliments he gives, and it's exciting to see the things that he can do now, with like snuggling and stuff that weren't as easy before. He can take his arms around me from behind if I'm standing, and he can start here and he can take his arms all the way down without detaching his fingers, like past my hips to the ground. It's phenomenal, really. I haven't weighed this little since Afghanistan, and it's feeling really good. My skin still seems to be really pale, but I think that's because it's still winter. I don't think it's nutrition related. I think maybe my circles could be, but I don't think they're that bad. I think they're getting better. So you might recall that on the 23rd of November, which was pre-op, by maybe like a week pre-op, my cholesterol was 219. Well, I finally got my results back. For the 12th of February, my cholesterol has gone from 219 down to 142. Tell me that's not awesome. So I'm really happy with that result. No blood pressure issues, no cholesterol issues. Things are starting to clear up. My menstrual cycle is getting closer toward a 28-day mark rather than a 21 or 19-day cycle. And I think my body is adjusting pretty well. I'm actually really fortunate. I'm still very, very, very thankful that I've had no major issues. Let's do body measurements. So I'm just gonna go right down the line. My waist, I couldn't remember if I previously was stating my measurements as I actually measured them or just the inches lost. So I'm just gonna run through what they currently are and how much was lost from last week and what the total is from the beginning, from November 17th. Which is, I think, about when I did my pre-op LRD, or liver reduction diet. My waist is started at 47 and a half. It's down to 38, which is a 2-inch loss from last month and 9.5 inches total. My hips started at 48 and a half. They're down to 43. It is a 1.5 inch loss from last month, and it's 5.5 inches total. My neck started at 15 and a half inches. It's down to 13 and a half. It was only a 1/2 inch lost from last time, and a total of 2 inches lost. I really wish that one would go a little, that thing. I wish that would go away. My right thigh, which is the bigger thigh, it's the only one I measure, it started out at 28 and a half. It's down to 25. I did not lose any inches from last month, but I am down a total of 3.5 inches. My right calf, the same measurements. I started measuring in January. It started at 16 and a half. I'm at 15 and a half now. I've lost a total of 1 inch, and that was this previous month that I've lost it. My upper right arm at the fattest point, when it's hanging, I always choose the fattest, so it might not actually be the same point each time, but just the biggest point. It started at 15 and a half back in November. I'm down to 15, so it's only a 1/2 inch loss, and I've lost that 1/2 inch within this last month as well. My waist to hip ratio started at 1.0, which is terrible. Remember, the lower the number, the better it is. It's at 0.88, which is room for improvement, definitely. Body fat percentage. In November, I started at 46.9, almost 50% body fat. It is now at 41.8, so I've lost a total of 5.1%. It only went down 1% from last month. My lean body mass, that's how many pounds of muscle. I started out at 123.78. I'm losing muscle consistently. Another reminder to work out. I am now at 106.1, so I've lost a total of 17.68 pounds of muscle. My body fat mass, so my pounds of body fat, started out at 109.32 pounds. I'm down to 76.2 pounds of body fat, and that is a total of 33.12 pounds of body fat gone. And when you add the two together, the lean and the body fat mass, I have a total of 50.8 pounds lost. So the delta between that and how many pounds I've lost total is 4.9 pounds, and I'm thinking that's just 4.9 pounds of water. Either that or my scale is miscalculating something, or I'm not processing it properly in my head. So recap that real quick. 17.68 pounds of muscle lost, 33.12 pounds of fat lost equals 50.8 pounds of loss, but with the total pounds lost being 56 pounds, then that just leaves 4.9 pounds unaccounted for, so it has to be water, I'm guessing. That's all I have to report today. It's quite a bit, but thanks for hanging in there and watching. Definitely appreciate it. Have a good week, everyone.